Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi Shali Sadri, Wayassir li Amri, Wahlul Uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi Zidni ilma. Today's topic, we are going to start an important topic, and this is about the amino acids. And we know that these are the building blocks of the proteins, and which proteins are the polymers of amino acids linking together by which is called peptide bond. So one amino acid, second amino acid joined together by a peptide bond. So there are 300 amino acids in the nature and only 20 of them occur in the proteins. The small units of the monomers of the proteins, they are called amino acids. And there are two types of amino acid. One are the standard amino acids, which are 20 in number. They are used in the protein synthesis, and others are non-standard amino acid. We are going to see the different examples. तो हम ये भी देखेंगे कि ये जो है किस तरह से different types of amino acids होते हैं. The proteins are the unbranched polymers of L-alpha amino acids. So when we talk about it, there are two things are important. One is the biological significance of the amino acids, why they are important in our body, and what is an amino acid pool. We have in our body an amino acid pool that is utilized for the formation of body proteins, and they are they are nearly 400 grams per day, and 30 grams per day it is utilized for the synthesis of the porphyrins. I mean the heme synthesis, creatine, neurotransmitters, purines, and the pyrimidines, which will form the nucleic acids and other nitrogen containing compounds. So all amino acids, they are utilized throughout the body, and still others, there are forms that are going to form glucose or glycogen. So they are known as glucogenic amino acids, and some are going to form ketone bodies. So these are ketogenic amino acids. So what is an amino acid? It is a nitrogen atom of amino acid containing compound, and its nitrogen atom, it is the primary source of many nitrogenous compounds. Hormones, they are going to be formed, neurotransmitters and biologically active peptides. So agar hum baat kare, what are the functions of the amino acid in general? So ek tarah se we can see that they are important for the blood protein synthesis. They are important for acid-base balance. They are important for reproduction, intestinal integrity, nutritionic gut activity, nutrient metabolism, immune response. Protein degradation also is due to some amino acids. Cell growth and differentiation, gene expression, antioxidative functions, and hormone synthesis. And the most important is the acid-base balance. And important is also for the blood flow in the blood vessels, special type of amino acids, they are utilized. We are going to see their examples. So these are the different types of amino acid forming different hormonal function, digestive function, transport function, like albumin formed from the amino acids, immune function, defense cells, movement functions, actin, myosin, all are composed of amino acids. Similarly, collagen and extrastructural functions, all they are made up of amino acids. If we talk about amino acid, what is their role in the cellular metabolism? So We can say that all biochemical reactions are catalyzed by enzymes composed of amino acid. This is the most important function along with the structural components being a structural components. So central role in metabolism, cellular metabolism. All enzymes consist of amino acid. So the amino acids, they are essential for carbohydrate metabolism, lipid metabolism, synthesis of the tissue proteins, and many compounds like adrenaline, thyroxine, melanin, histamine, porphyrins, hemoglobin, pyrimidines, purines, nucleic acids, choline, folic acid, nicotinic acids, vitamins, taurine, and as a metabolic source of energy like glucogenic amino acids. So a lot of functions of these amino acids. And they are the monomer units from which a long polypeptide chain of proteins are synthesized. And condensation of two molecules of amino acid forms a peptide bond. L-amino acids and the derivatives participate in cellular functions, nerve transmissions, urea synthesis, purine pyrimidine synthesis. And similarly, polypeptides, short polymer of polypeptide, perform prominent role in neuroendocrine systems, hormones, hormone-releasing factors, and neurotransmitters. We can see that with the examples. For example, tryptophan is amino acid. So it can lead to formation of niacin, serotonin, and melatonin. Similarly, melanin, thyroid hormone, catecholamines, they are synthesized from the tyrosine. We have to remember all these because they are utilization and functions of the amino acids. Gamma aminobutyric acid, which is a neurotransmitter. It is also synthesized from glutamic acid. And similarly, nitric oxide, a smooth muscle relaxant, it is synthesized from the arginine. And they also act as precursors of the heme, creatine, porphyrins, pyrimidines, and purines. So when we talk about the important role of amino acids in our body, they have so many roles like protein and glucose synthesis, which is known as, we can also say that formation of glucose from non-carbohydrate source like amino acids. It is known as gluconeogenesis. Similarly, cellular metabolism, we have already seen that all are due to enzymes. And the enzymes are proteins in nature. And antioxidant reactions like nitric oxide, immune enhancers, gene expression, etc. They also performed a special role in different parts of the body, building blocks, repairing tissues, in enzyme formation and digestive enzyme formation, transportation of molecules like albumin. Albumin is composed of amino acids. So अगर हम if we make a list, we can say that number one, building blocks of the proteins, L amino acids are polymerized to form proteins. Though both D and L non-L amino acid they are also found in nature. So they are number two, they are biological buffers. Amino acid being amphoteric act as buffers in solutions, resisting changes in the pH. So they do so by donating H ions as pH increases and accepting H ion as pH decreases. So they are biological buffers. Similarly, number three function is they store the nitrogen like asparagine, glutamine. They are amide derivatives of aspartic acid and glutamic acid, and they serve as the storage of the nitrogen. Other functions include proline forms bands or kinks in the polypeptide chain. Cysteine links chains together by forming disulfide bonds. Histidine found in the active site of the enzymes where it is going to cause making and breaking the bonds. Similarly, the aromatic rings help in the electron transfer. अब एक और चीज है, one another thing is the formation of the compounds. One amino acid forms another compounds like tyrosine forms thyroxine, adrenaline, and the skin pigment melanin. Glycine forms heme. Tryptophan forms vitamins, nicotinamide, plant hormones, etc. कौन है कौन अच्छा मुझे ना पड़ी सुबह फिर आ जाओगी ना So the formation of other compounds is very important task. ये हम समझ सकते हैं कि जहर अमाइनो एसिड से ही बनने हैं मुख्तलिफ compounds in the body. So it is the amino acid that is forming different compounds in our body. So that is why we see that they can form hormones like adrenaline, thyroxine, skin pigments, heme for blood pigment, and they are going to form coenzyme A, glutathione alkaloids. They also form non-protein amino acids. They are useful compounds of the antibiotics, valinomycin. So genetic defects can be also called by metabolism of amino acid, like phenylketonuria. L-amino acids and derivatives help in nerve transmission, biosynthesis of these different compounds. So they are the different these amino acids. They can be described for the 1-letter abbreviations or 3-letter abbreviations. For example, histidine, HIS, glycine, GLY, aspartic acid, ASP. Whatever it is, so we have to remember all these. We can understand, not in detail, but they are very important. So 20 amino acids, they enter the protein structure. They are protein forming amino acids. Others do not enter the protein, like ornithine, citrulline. They are amino acids with other functions in the compounds. They enter in the formation of urea in the liver. So this is the ornithine, this is the arginine, and it is the citrulline. So urea cycle is a very important cycle in our body that converts ammonia, which is a toxic form of nitrogenous compound, into a non-toxic compound like urea. So we have seen already in the first slide that there are free amino acids can come from plasma or muscles. From muscle, due to its mass, contains 75% of the total free amino acids. Still, free amino acid thought to be contribute only 1% of metabolically active amino acid. So this is amino acids. They are essential for the integrity of the skeletal muscle. With the use of energy it is of concern. Estimated amino acids contribute 5 to 15% of energy during prolonged exercise. Because energy demands are so high during exercise, a small percentage is substantial. So this is how amino acid changes takes place. Amino acids, if we talk about the structure, now we talk about the structure. Amino acids contains an amino group, NH2, and a carboxyl group, that is COOH group. Each amino acid also has an R group. So there are 20 different R groups. This is the reason for being 20 different types of amino acid. So why there are 20 types? Because the R groups differs. And this is the amino group, contains nitrogen and 2 hydrogen atoms. Then carboxyl acid group है, इसके बाद एक R group है. Or we can see this is from the Lippincott diagram. This is the alpha carbon. It is between the carboxyl and the amino group. This is the alpha carbon. This is the side chain that is distinctive for each amino acid. Very easy or elaborative structure of an amino acids common to all alpha amino acids. So we can say there is a carboxylic acid group, there is an amino group, and R is the side chain. So if we talked about the examples, one is the simplest amino acid, that is the glycine. This is the glycine, amino group and carboxyl group, and it only contains one H. And in the alanine contains a methyl group. So one amino acid and the other amino acid, they cannot perform individually. So they have to join together. By joining, they need a bond. So how this bond is formed? So the two amino acids are joined together by condensation to form a dipeptide. This is a peptide bond, amino acid 1, and this is the R1. This is a group. This is the second amino acid group. A peptide bond is formed, and this results in dipeptide. Okay, so this is the formation of dipeptide. So one more important point is that these amino acids, they have both basic and acidic group, so act as a base or acid. The amphoteric property of an amino acid, they are zwitterines. They are known as zwitterine. What are the zwitterines? They have both basic group and acidic group. They can act as an acid or they can act as a basic. So neutral amino acid, monobasic acid exists in the aqueous solution as zwitterines containing both negative and positive charge. This is the acidic group. This is the basic. But zwitterine, this is the zwitterines that electrically neutral and can't migrate into electrical field. So this is the zwitterine. The presence of an acid or a base in the same molecule leads to interaction between the two. So this interaction results in transfer of hydrogen ion from the acidic portion to the base portion. And this interaction, self-interaction occurs, and amino acid in both positive and negative region is called zwitterines. So the net charge of zwitterine is 0. This leaves the acid end of the amino acid with a negative charge and a positive charge at base. So deprotonated portion that has lost a hydrogen ion is a carboxylic group, and the protonated compound that gains a hydrogen ion is ammonia group. So the presence of a charge on amino acid makes them water soluble. So this is very important. This is the structural property. If anyone asks you, what is the structural property? It is the formation of zwitterines. That there's a loss of hydrogen ion from carboxyl side and the gain of hydrogen to a basic side. So polypeptide is formed similarly. The chain of amino acid is known as polypeptide chains. They are together, they form a chain. So polypeptide is very important for bond formation, leads to formation of proteins. So this was the first part of my lecture